Alrighty, tuning on in here. What is going on, everybody? Getting in with another Cosbox stream. It's been a while since I've actually streamed this much. So tuning in on Hytale here. I have been gradually working on building up a railroad, so we're going to be doing that here today. You'll see I've had some progress, been doing pretty much everything off camera. I haven't recorded any of this. It's been pretty grindy, so I figured, you know what, decent one to just kind of chill out and do while I'm on stream. Just catch people while we're chatting. Grinding up some rubble for making all the gravel. Gravel is really annoying to get in Hytale. I hope we can find a better way to automate this eventually. Because, yeah, it's difficult to get this much rubble. I mean, not only do we have to grind up all of the stone, but then it takes 3 pieces of rubble to make 1 block of gravel. So it just gets really annoying to do all this. And I don't know why I've forced myself to do gravel. I mean, it's the most accurate thing that you would have for railroad ballast. But, you know, I'm just sticking to that. So the chaplain for Innocent 752, thanks for tuning in and thanks for subscribing or following. Yeah, I don't stream very frequently. If you are still hanging out here, I just kind of whenever I have the time free. You know, it's all pretty chill here. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll hopefully see you here as we get going on things. See, I'm gonna run down. Actually, I probably should take the path this time. Because Grim had done some building up, and they had a video up for it, so definitely go check that out. I put the descriptions up when I put the VOD up on YouTube. That was what we built last time. We did the big dock house. I still don't know what to do for the interior there, so I'm just kind of leaving that for the moment. But yeah, Grim had built up this whole little, looked like fishing village on the other side of the bank here, which looks really cool. So we got some little stands here. A couple of houses. I believe all of these are empty. And mainly just the houses for decoration. Which, you know, that's all we really need. Yeah, I don't think there's anything really in particular in all of these. But the designs are really cool looking. I love the drywood roofs. I think those look really cool. It gives it that nice little bit of a cyan color. You know, you can see Grim was trying out some of my techniques of using the half slabs. I really think those add a lot of detail without having to go full block for adding the additional depth. But yeah, you can see where I had started the railroad back here. I'm going to build a station here at some point. I don't know if I'm going to get to that today. That may be something that I do on another stream or off camera, or, you know, but we'll figure that part out. I am trying to build up the track bed so that it at least kind of ties into the landscape, and I've got a lot more detailing to do. You can see on this side I haven't really done much of anything with it. You know, gathering the resources is a bit grindy for Hytale, so we'll figure all that out. But yeah, if I hop into the rail cart, we can see as we go along. So everything is gravel, and I have double-tracked this up to spawn at this point. I am gradually working my way north, which is where we're going to be looking at here today. As I said, this is going to be pretty grindy. It's just digging through mountains. We will eventually start moving upwards because there's a big ledge as we get into the northern lands. But yeah, you can see here is where the gravel has ended for the double track. I am working on filling all of this in. It takes a while to get all the cobblestone, and I figured rather than worry about a generator for right now, I will just go ahead and cut it out of the mountains. You can see where I've started here, and most of everything from here has gone into the ballast for everything else I've built up. I definitely need to fill in more with the dirt as I go. I had started filling in some where the tunnels are. I probably should add some lighting into these at some point. This one I actually did a little bit of detailing on. So you can see where I put the cobble in here. Yeah, we're just about at the end of the line. There we go. And I have a little portable workstation set up so I can continue to do some grinding and everything on here. I probably should fill that in a little bit more. I probably need to do more detailing around this in general, but for right now, I'm not terribly worried about it. I mostly just kind of want to get, figure out where everything's going to lay out, and then I can go back and detail things as I go. But if I pull up the map here, you can see where we've come along. So we've got our little starting town for sanctuaries, which is what we called it. So here's where the rail line goes. You can see the line just coming straight down the middle of the track. So I'm coming up towards the northern end because I want to make a cross track that goes from our area over to the volcano island. There are multiple volcano islands spattered around, just how Hytale generates. This just happens to be the one we generally have been going to where we get all the portals set up. And I'd like to just connect them in a network. So that is probably where we're going to end up bringing this one. I don't know if I'm going to take it all the way across the water or if I'm just going to take it here and then we'll figure out where it goes from there. But I want to run a line. It'll probably go just north of this. Actually, I think like right here where it looks out. If I do it on this one, then I can do kind of a central support bridge and just get both of those tails of the river. Then bring it along. So it'd probably end up right about there. And then carrying over this way, there's some other areas that Grim had been exploring for, some new island areas, so I want to get that, just so that way we have the entire expanse covering in between all of our areas set. And then I do want to carry this north. This is where we have for the cold area. We've been going to get all of your cobalt and everything like that. I would like to do a nice big tower made out of shale at some point. I think it's a really cool block, and I want to try playing around with it. And we're going to need some mines and things up here. So I figured, I might as well build this up, and then I can tunnel right through the mountains, and I'll be able to collect a lot of shale. And I don't know where exactly it's going to go from there. We may just cover that way. We'll figure that out as we go. But mostly what I need to do right now is grind and dig some of this stuff out. So that is what I am focused on. Oh, and I am going to pull out the torch here just so I can see where I'm going as I dig things out. So yeah, this is going to be, a lot of it is going back and forth, grinding stuff. Grind out the tunnel, and then take my cobblestone back and grind it into rubble to make gravel. Given the time frame here, I probably will end up building a bridge out on the side there. I haven't decided if I'm going to do stone or wood bases for it. We'll see where we end up as I go. And after I dig through this, I'm going to go and we'll take a look at what I have on the other end. So I have looked at it, so I kind of have an idea of where everything's headed to, and I know where I'm going to start sloping things up. There's one more tunnel. We're going to dig another tunnel through there where you can see where I had started. So we'll dig that one out, and then after that is where the slope is going to start to make it to the ledge. I'll probably do flat for a little bit, because just north of that is where I'm going to do the cross rail. But yeah, so just kind of chilling with me, digging with a pickaxe. That's really about it for the stream here. Do a little bit of bouncing back and forth. I may end up going down into the mines a little bit more. Rather than having to craft all of the rail, the mine networks are extensive in Hytale. So that's actually been a really good source. I don't have to actually go do a lot of iron mining. I can just go and pick up the rails themselves. Oh good, we're almost done here. So let's go this way. If you aren't aware of this trick, if you put your stone into slabs, it will actually double your amount of cobblestone, because you can still get the rubble from, you can get the rubble from slabs. So you can double how much you're generating. So always worthwhile to do that. Alright, let's just do these here. Rather than having to count anything, I am just going to the limits of what my pickaxe can reach. And then I will build up from there. Going down that center one was a little bit easier, so that way I could do the roof in there. I don't know if I'm going to do the cobblestone roof like I did on the previous tunnel. We'll see how it goes out. I don't know that I may even bother detailing this one. I had that once, I figured I'd experiment with it. I did like doing the vertical slabs going up the sides. I think that added a little bit of additional detail without covering into my rail section too much. And yeah. So yeah, I'm doing this 5 wide all the way down because I'm going to do double track and then I want a block of gravel between each rail. Even though this, they don't overlap, I could run them parallel, but it just makes sense to have that little bit of a gap, I think, for detailing. So like I could add, if I wanted to add like signals or anything like that. Not that they'll actually function, but just cosmetically, I could do those sort of things with at least one block. Plus, it makes it a little bit better for when you're switching between tracks, so there's actually a piece of rail to go over. Because if they're right next to each other, then it's really hard to, to control which rail you're going on. All right. Hytale music is just cutting out while I'm digging. Alright, and we got one more to dig out there. Where did... Oh, wow. He got really far from this, because there's a little torque base over there. Yeah, he got really far. Huh. I didn't realize they would wander that far away from their spawn-in point. The base is also why I want to build a little bit farther north before I do the cross rail, just so that I'm not going over top of it. If I tried to do it, right about this bridge, I'd be going right through the middle of that base. And that would be annoying to have them showing up on the tracks the whole time. Alright. How much more do we have? About half. Okay. I think I'm going to focus on filling in the gravel going back towards spawn a little bit more than I am with moving this forward. I don't know that I want to do gravel the whole way with the cross section as well. I think it can look just as good using cobblestone or some of the other block types, even if I just went and got like the basalt blocks. Those I think would look suitable for ballast. This is just what I started with, so I'm kind of stuck with it right now. I may end up switching it after this big bridge, because this will be the biggest bridge I've done on the length so far. So I may switch it around after that, just to kind of keep it cosmetic. And then going south of our base, from where we're at in Sanctuary, there's a big trek through the swamp, which I'm probably going to do a wooden bridge going through that. I just think, even though structurally it would make sense to build a stone bridge, I think aesthetically it would look better being wood. I haven't decided exactly what design I'm going to do for it yet. We'll figure that out as we go. But I figured there's not as much south of us, so I was wanting to go north first. Alright, how much do we have? We're almost done. Let's get that made. Yeah, we can go off of that, that's fine. There we go. Alright, let's hop in here. And I'm just going to ride the rails back to where I need to fill in some more. Let's do this one. Yeah, for these longer tunnels, I probably should add some lighting in here. I think it would make sense if I did lamps up in the center. I'll figure out the design as I go. And I do need to do the groundwork for here. So I'd cut off this. I don't know if I want to do a bridge on this one. I think it would make sense to do that. I'll fill in up to here, and then just for this gap, I could do a bridge. We'll see where we end up. I am playing all of this kind of by ear. Let's see, did the guy show up again? No, looks like we're in the clear. Alright, and back here is where it ends, so let's throw this down here. And just kind of ballasting along. I am on the MOW crew for right now. If you don't know railroading, MOW stands for Maintenance of Way, and those are the people who basically build and maintain the track. They deal with rolling stock if they end up in the dirt, and all that sort of maintenance stuff that just makes the railway function. That doesn't necessarily tie directly into the operations of actually running a train. Alright, let's do that. I'm going to need to fill in some dirt under there. So we'll make that a convenient cutoff point. Trying very hard not to slip and put gravel in the wrong spot, because when I do I have to break it, but like that. I only get back one piece of rubble, so I end up losing materials if I misplace. What I probably am going to end up needing to do to fill in some of the last bits, there are some gravel sections in some of the other mountain areas around where I'm at. I am probably going to need to just get a shovel and just start digging the stuff out. Even if it does return only one piece of rubble, it's still stuff I don't have to wait and grind out from the cobblestone. Alright, and then let's fill in here. And I'll probably end up replacing this with some sort of station as well. Oh. Picked up, and I have just a little bit of gravel left. There we go. Alright, and I have a little bit of dirt. Let's fill this in. Don't know how far that's going to stretch. Oh, it made it all the way across. Okay. And then, yeah, we'll fill in around here a bit. We'll need a little bit more dirt to kind of fill in that hole. But that's minimal. I'll deal with that later. I don't... Yeah, I didn't have any more dirt on me right now, so that is fine. Alright, let's go see how our grinders are doing. I don't know if they function while I'm not in render distance. Yeah, the minecart travel is decently quick in this. They are a little bit finicky with how some of the things are managed, so I think that's one of the things that Hytale still needs to work on with their development cycle. You know, of course, like, the whole game is still in early access, so they're not done with it yet. And it looks like they're things that, you know, the devs are aware of and they're working on, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah, I don't think those were loaded the whole time there, but that's okay. But yeah, like that mountain I think has some gravel. Let's see. I'm probably going to need to start gathering up some wood. And I've already cut down a bunch of trees. Let's go out and see what we've got in the way here that we're going to need to cut down. I just used the dirt here just to get something down so that I have the level line. Are you angry at me? I don't think you can see me anymore. Okay, that's fine. Of course, all this needs to get dug out. There was some stuff going down into the hollow sections that I'll fill in a little bit. We'll deal with those as we go. That'll need to get dug out a little bit. I don't think I'm going to have to cut the whole tree down. I may have to cut that limb off, but I don't think I'll need to lose the whole tree. This I am probably going to do a wooden bridge for. I think that'll fit aesthetically. And then it anchors right into the... Well, maybe I'll do stone, because there is this stone here. I mean, I could replace it easy enough, so that's not the worst if I had to. And then I think... Yeah, I think from here is where I'm going to start bringing it up, because if I go this way just a little bit further... Who's hissing at me? I don't even see you. Right up there is where the shale starts when we get into the northern lands. And I don't know what level I'm going to end up with when I get up here. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. Come on, get up. And that I'm not going to make. Somewhere in here. Probably cut down the marble there. And these are all trees. And holy cow, there's a lot of redwood. I could get redwood very easily. Let's see. It is a heck of a lot easier to build up a track above the ground than it is trying to dig out a cut. So that's where I've ended up with most of it. So I'll probably keep it even with about this Y level. I might dig down one block and then put just to embed the ballast in that. And then the rail cart will be running on this track. A little bit of free rubble. Let's grab that. Alright. Well, I think I'm in line here. I'm going to get some of the wood. So I end up needing it eventually anyway. I'm going to take this marble down. I might end up using the marble for a tunnel. Like that one that's going through the chalk mountain. That would make sense to do on a marble. Let me repair that real quick. I'm going to go through so many pickaxes with this. But I've got a very nice stock of adamantium, so I'm not terribly worried about it. And once it's fully worn out, I can put it in the grinder to get more. So we can at least cover the adamantium. Alright, where am I laying up here? Like that. right about here is where I'm lining up. Yeah, so right in line with that. That makes sense. Just gonna get you out of here so you stop hissing at me. Alright, this is going down. This is coming down. This is coming down. Let's go ahead and take this one down. This one's coming down. Probably don't need to collect all the plant fiber and sticks, but, you know, whatever. We might as well get it. Let's grab that real quick while I'm in here. That's good enough. I will probably end up cutting some more down eventually, but I don't want to go too much until I actually have the track in here and I see where it's going to end up. Let's see, that can go. I don't think I'm going to need to cut that down. I think I can actually use that like a pillar when I build up. Pretty sure that tree is right where I need to go. Yeah, that's like right in the way. So let's get this out of here. And that will give me a lot of wood. Hopefully enough for building a bridge. You're gonna annoy me, so let's just get you out of there. Real quick to counteract the poison. Let's grab the stump, just for a little extra wood. Of planks there. Did I have... I must have dumped it off. I had a little cot at one point. I don't think I left one over there. It's alright, we'll figure it out. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut them off. Let's cut that back from my space there. Do I need to worry about that one? Yeah, let's get it out of there. Got the mushrooms bouncing me. Cut down into this dirt enough because the battleship will be up at this level and that's still got plenty of height there, so I think we'll be fine. This still comes up. Do I need to cut that one too? Oh wait, that's a different tree. Okay, then that's fine, I can cut that one. I don't feel bad cutting a few extra limbs off of multiple trees. I didn't mean to do that. That's alright. We're still healing up, so that'll just recover. Alright. Grab a little bit of dirt here. I don't remember if I'm in the middle or if I'm on my rail, so I'm only going to dig that much. Work our way through here. Alright, yeah, you're gonna get annoying, aren't you? Go away. Still going. Let's do another. Those. You over here. Mix of different woods, but they're mostly all hardwood. And I did not leave a cot over here. Was there one in this thing, or was that the one that I grabbed? I think it was the one I grabbed. I believe there's one down here, but somebody mad at me. Oh, you're up here. Okay, fine. Go away. How are you guys? Get out of there. Where's the other one? Oh, there you are. There we go. Get them the heck out of here. Where did another one spawn from? How many of you are there? I'm getting all the cave spawns. I'm not even in a cave. Are you done? And then you just spawn in more. Alright. Well, if they're gonna be that annoying about it, it's probably worth going on and getting a freaking bed here. I just don't feel like crafting one. Hey, come on. Get off of the ladder. There's gonna be one around here somewhere, isn't there? Yeah, here we go. That's probably where I grabbed the other one. Alright, let's call this temp. Sleep the night away. There we go. Come on, break. There we go. I'll bring that upstairs with me. Do I have any more rail? I'm gonna grab the chests here just so I don't have to craft more. think I have more rail immediately available. I know there's more in here, but I gotta go deep to find it. And I just don't feel like doing that right now. Alright, let's get up here. Switch over in case more of you guys are up here. No, I think we're good. Alright. I am going to put the bed down here. We'll just keep that with the supply of things. Alright, we got that. Let's go back this way. Oh, did it? So this is another one, I don't know why it does this, and it's got to be an early access thing where it's weird, but it takes the... Every once in a while, it will align the minecart on, like, this half, rather than aligning it on the track itself. And then you're just moving at regular rolling pace rather than track rolling pace. It's an oddball one. Alright. Let's go on and define where we're going to leave the groundwork. Alright. Throw that down. Dirt. Very minimal. Alright, so we want... Think of that. Since I already put the dirt down and I have the gravel, I will probably... Yeah, I'll probably end up making this stone to go with the one that I did over there, and I'll show you what I did for that in a minute. Just because if I remove the dirt, then I'm going to lose all the rubble that I used making this gravel, and I really don't want to do that. So yeah, we'll dirt cut that off. So this little bridge here, because it was just such a short stint, I did it with the dirt. So you can see that I just kind of filled in, and then for this little bit, rather than have to fill all of that solid and then the groundwork going out, I just made these little arches underneath here. So I'll probably do the same thing on the other side of that tunnel. And just doing it with the... See, there, it did it again. And I can't, like, turn to get it back on the rail. It's weird. Put that down. Still rolling through here. Yeah. More of that. Put this down for now. Let's keep all the wood on me for the moment. Oh, I have white clay rather than chalk. Okay. That's fine. And we're going to go ahead and cobble that. Make sure this is topped up. Alright, let's see if we can get a... You know what, I'm gonna grab... some of these planks here. So I have quite a bit of ash log. Let's turn the fir and the oak into planks. I'm just gonna do full planks for right now. Probably do slabs eventually. I kind of want to see where I'm going to end up here. Let me get... Let's steal a little bit of dirt to fill in here. It's about to steal some dirt from it. It's not going to be too noticeable. Let's get double sections. And we can steal up the top here. I don't need much. Just want a little bit for filling in to square off that end piece of rubble. Yeah, I need to go around to the rivers and pick up some rubble there too. Yeah, so something like that, and I'll fill in from there. But this is where I'm going to end up cutting it over. So I think I would want to keep my logs as the center where the track is. So those would be my full block bases. If I go... You're gonna come annoy me. Off of there. Let's do the same thing going this way. Probably gonna need a little bit more, but that's fine. I can cut down another tree. Where did you spawn in from? You were just from the night. Okay, let's go get you. Alright, I'm gonna take this out of there. And I'll go around and pick all this dirt up here in a minute because I can use it. No. Starting up there. Okay, what's Sniper doing? Where are you running? Got him. Let's go recover some arrows from you. Get rubble. Okay. Get my line of dirt here. Alright, so I think I will do upside down slabs through the middle here. Let's go get those. Oh, and then I need to do some sort of bracing for footers here. Yeah, let's see what I got for the ash logs here. So how far out do I want to go? I did 10 on the other one there. I think that looked okay. Let's see how much we would have. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I keep it with the other bridge, I did that. And then 1, 2, 3. There. It's 12, but it was 10 in between. That, I think, would look okay. Let me go off of that. That's straight up and down. And then I would do an angled bracing off of that. That works okay. Yeah, I can cut a few more trees down. Yeah, I think that'll be alright. Yeah. That, and then, like, if you were coming down the river... Yeah, it's like if a boat was coming down the river, you'd have either way of the central support here. Yeah, that would work just fine. Alright, and then I'm on the right block, aren't I? Yes. I'm hitting it. Just gotta get to it. There we go. Oop. I need the torch out of there. Huh. Torches light underwater. Interesting. Alright. So I need a little bit more ash wood. That's fine. I kind of like these small trees in here. I think I want to leave them in place. Let's see, are there any other bigger ash trees around somewhere? What was that? It was a boar. That's maple. These are oak. Yeah, don't use oak for that. oak. That's oak. These are all oak in here. Okay, this one I don't feel bad about because it's far enough away. I ain't have any in my... Yeah, I ain't have any in my inventory. What's that? Oh, it's those guys. Okay, yeah. Yeah, they're boars. They're fine. Not too worried about leaving a hole here, because this is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Come on, get into the hole. I think we're going to need a little bit more. Man, you guys are annoying. I could get to some more up there later, but... Get in the mix too. Go away. I need more food here for long. Yeah, so then like right along here is where I'm gonna want to end up doing the cross line. So I can cut it like right next to that pillar. Suppose I can go cut that tree down, because that's gonna be in my way when I get to that. And I will certainly need some more either wood or stone, probably wood for doing this span of bridge when I get to that point, but I'll have plenty of time before I do that. Just make sure we got enough. Get all the root system. There we go. Come on. Good enough. Oh, we got more little undead hideouts there. Yeah, and then when I bring the cross line in, that should be it just north of their base. Shouldn't run into issues there. I think that will work. Alright. Let's see if I have enough for this. Not, I may go back to the main base and grab some wood, because I had already cut down a bunch earlier. I know I have a supply. So that in. Yeah, that's the right one. Oh, perfect. And then that just puts it right up at the edge. good there. Yeah, that looks like it's a decent structure. And then I'll do some sort of outriggers here, like a wooden buttress, and then some sort of arch system in between. It'll probably be more like a framework rather than being solid. I can experiment with wood pieces, or with roof pieces. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, and we're gonna need this out. That going. Alright. I don't know if they're gonna need hardwood planks for it, like the full blocks. I might for a couple of spots, so let's just make those slabs for now. Keep those held in reserve. Let's get the planks down, because I definitely want to do those on either side. I want to see how this looks going down the way. Yeah. I think the hardwood synergizes pretty decently with the ashwood bark. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. I should have put this up a level because the ballast is going to be there. I might do something a little different. We'll see. Because I'm not going to tear all this out and do it again. I'll have to figure out some way to elevate the track a little bit, but that's fine. We can do that. You know what? This is going to get annoying, so let's get this out of there. Yeah, because we want this going here. Since I have figured this out, I love this place feature. This makes building so much more convenient. And we need... just fantastic. This is fine, because I did want to use platforms in here somewhere, and I wasn't quite sure where, but since I gotta go up another block, that gives me some options. I don't think I want to put them as what the rails are going to sit on, but the space between the rails I could use for that, or coming off the sides or something like that. Probably I'm going to need some more wood, though, but that's okay. We can work with it. Alright, then I'm going to collect my torches. Probably do something lined up with the supports on the upper level, but I don't know what yet. So for now, I'm just not going to worry about it. Yeah, I think we're doing all right there. may end up using some of these, the plant fiber for rope. Just because that gets me some nice angle pieces. Alright. Does that give me... I do get ash saplings, but I have to have that on the upgraded bench. Okay. So I can get more ash wood doing the rest of this. I may end up planting more around here. That's running. Let's go ahead and make our way back to... How did I end up there? Let's just head back to the main base. And get some more hardwood. So I need to fill this in here too. And I got all this cobble that I can put in to do a little bit more grinding on it. Since I have 4 grinders back at the base, I can get that a little bit faster. Guy back. Somehow he's not back yet. Just makes this a very nice, easy run. I know I could put a teleporter up, but I kind of like using the rail line. It gives me a nice visibility of everything. Kind of the whole reason why I'm building the thing. And then if we want to stop anywhere in between. Let's see. Grim has some stuff that can go. Oh, we get more dirt. I will probably end up stealing some of that. That's dark wood. It's dry wood. Yeah, Grim, I will probably end up stealing your extra dirt. I don't think you care. Nothing else here. Stuff. No, nothing major there. That's fine. I may do a little bit of farming here just to get some essence of life, and then buy up some saplings. Let's get this going first. Okay, get them out of the way. That can go right here. Sticks can go there. I'm gonna end up needing the hardwood planks. Going around it, pulling everything dumps. Get the tree sap out of there. Clay. Just gonna dump that in there for now. Chalk for now. Let's dump the marble. I'll probably come back for it eventually. Oh, and I am gonna make some skewers. Food there. Do I have? Oh, I do have meat skewers there. Okay, let's fill that in. And... dirt. I think I'm gonna leave the maple here. What else do we have for hardwoods that we can get rid of? There's some more ash, some firwood, a bunch of oak, more ash. Softwood, oak's hardwood. Softwood, I think, because I get the simple wood platform from hardwood. Get some crude platforms. That would probably look better aesthetically for certain things. I know that's softwood, but it'll give a little bit more of that rickety railroad kind of setup. Good, we got more ash. Oak. The redwood planks. These I just put in. Nothing in those. That's cooking along. And we'll grab more of those fences, because those I can use as well. The crude fences. We'll fill the platforms. Let's go ahead and sleep the night away. Let's see if I have any more in my private stash. And softwood. Softwood. I get 4 stacks on the platform, so I'm not going to worry about this right now. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. Let's see, we have 113 essence of life. Let's go ahead and get as many as 7. Okay, that's fine. We'll get that to start with. Grab what I can here. Oh, there's this chest out here. Will this have anything useful? Not for what I'm doing right now. Okay, softwood fence, we'll grab that. Those. I'm gonna grab your dirt. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave it at that for now. Let's make our way along. I do have some more gravel and dirt, so I will fill those in once we get up to here.
Jazz hands!
Hey, thanks for the follow! How is it going? I don't know if my chat's not updating, because I only saw the one chat from earlier. I don't know if I've had anything else coming through. I should probably check that here. Make sure this guy didn't show up. You know, he's not here. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick. Oh, no, there it is. Perfect. All right. The chat is working. Yes. So, hey, how is it going? So, yeah, we are working on building up a minecart track here in Hytale. Help if I don't put more torches down. If this is your first time tuning into me, which I'm guessing it is, because I don't have that many people who watch, I am very casual. I don't keep up with a regular schedule. So, catch me when you catch me. I'm not making a living off of this. I'm just doing stuff for fun. But if you do feel like catching, I got all the socials and everything that post up above. They'll come up for for the regular notations of things. And I definitely have some other people that I do some work with that are fantastic on some of the content. And they'll hang out a little bit, so definitely check them out. I got the YouTube and everything where I'll post all the VODs and everything like that. So if you ever miss anything, it'll get put up there eventually. I've actually been good so far, everything that I've put up here. So I've been really into Hytale since that came out. This has been my main one that I've done on streams. I do a big variety of course, I'm also a big Minecraft player. Been playing that for years. Play that with friends every once in a while when I get into things. I do a lot of railroading games. I am a big train nerd, so that's very in character for me to be doing all of this setup in here. I actually am a game developer. I actually worked for FASA Games, if you've heard of them before, and I developed a game called 1879. It's a tabletop role-playing game, so we'll do some stuff on the channels over there on the FASA's channel. So I think we're on a little bit of a hiatus. Our GM is not feeling the best right now, so as she kind of recovers, we're just taking a break from things. I'm also working on getting my house in order because I'm planning to move in a couple of months. So, yeah, like I said, the game is called 1879. And the chat may be a little bit delayed, so if you'd already heard me say that, apologies if I'm repeating. I get the multi-stream chat information here, so sometimes it takes a little bit for it to populate through. But yeah, it's a tabletop RPG. It is we call it Steam Weird. It's sort of a alternate history, steampunk, high fantasy. Got a mix of a lot of different things to it. But yeah, I am the line developer. I work with a team of writers on that one. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, you get people who play tabletop, check it out. And like I said, we have Let's Plays on the FASA's channel. So you can see the backups for those. I have so many of those that I am behind on that I need to upload. Oh, I got so much stuff that I'm working on. I've been so focused on trying to get the next books out that I've been behind on a lot of things. Yeah, so yeah, it's like so many people. Yeah, D&D is kind of the bog standard that most people go to for the different role-playing games. But oh no, I am in the right one here. I'm trying to do too many things at once in my head. There we go. But yeah, so this uses the core step system. If you've heard of Earth Dawn, FASA is also the creators of Earth Dawn. It's the same system from there. 1879 was actually the very first system that pulled core step out of Earth Dawn's basis and tried to put it into a different kind of setup. But so it's based on a step progression rather than just everything being a d20. So you get to actually make use of all the dice in the set. You're not just rolling a d20 for everything. And the dice are open-ended high. So if you max out like a 6 on a d6, you roll again and add to the result. So you can get those explosive dice and get some truly insane rolls. I actually played with a guy when I played Earth Dawn for years who we called a Dice Whisperer. This guy, he would regularly roll results of like 200. It was insane. And he was not cheating. We sit there and watch him. He was just insanely lucky with how his dice would roll up. And yeah, sometimes the game slows down a little bit to accommodate the massive roll-ups, but it's worth it because it's just building the excitement. It's just fun to see how high you can go. Alright, so where are we at for our bridge? Okay. See, I did screw this up a little bit by putting my bridge at the ballast level rather than at the actual track level. So I'll need to figure out something here. Pixel SMP. I've been looking for an SMP to play on. I got a couple of friends who've been talking about some things. That sounds interesting. Yeah, if you jump in my Discord, shoot me a message on there. That's generally where I tend to look at things. Right now, my life is complete chaos. Like I said, I'm working on moving in the next couple of months. But once I am moved, I'm going to be settled in, and I will not have anywhere near as much going on. So I'll be looking into some different projects. So, yeah, that sounds cool. Like I said, I've been looking for somewhere on Minecraft to jump into. Just jumping into another SMP. I used to play on Good Times with Scars, SP Scar World, which he did for his Patreon server. It ended up... It's still a cool place, and I really love his community. It just got really big and really overpopulated, and I like much more of that smaller feel. Yeah, no, I'm one of his big followers out there. If you ever watch his streams, and if you hear anybody, you hear the streams where it talks about the train talks, that's me. They're posting all the train facts for him. I did that when he was building up the zoo train. And just started talking about it and came up with a whole canon backstory that could explain everything that he was doing with it. I haven't posted him on his streams this season because he hasn't built a train. Yeah, it's small. Like I said, I really tend to like the smaller community type of a setup. Like I said, when it gets too big, like when on Scar World where it was at. I was hanging, I mean, season 1, we probably had a community of about 50 people or so that would get on there, but of course not that many playing at once. Usually there was maybe 10 at the most that would ever play, and particularly towards the end of the season, we just didn't have that many joining on. But that seemed to really work well. So, I like the smaller, tighter-knit community feel. And as I said, nothing against anybody that's on there. Everybody's great people and stuff. It's just when it gets to be so many people and it's so big, it just kind of becomes unruly. It just gets really difficult to manage. Why is that bear sleeping in the water? That's really weird, guy. I don't know what you're doing. All right, well, I'm gonna get these guys out of here because they're gonna mess with me. Yeah, right. He's staying barely hydrated. Just poke him in the butt while he's sleeping. There we go. I'm going to get them out of there because I'm going to look at this bridge from all angles, and they are right where I need to go. I'm doing it from afar because I just don't feel like fighting with them up close. There we go. Alright. So let's see. See, I definitely want some sort of archway in between here. I need to figure out how many blocks down that should go. So I've got 10 in between. How long have I been streaming for? Less than an hour and a half. Hour and 20 minutes. So if I go down 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 would have me... If I'm doing a 1-to-1, it's not terrible, honestly. Oh, that's years? Oh, God. Geez, I'm not even sure how long it's been since I joined on Twitch. I really started streaming back when I was playing Scar World Season 1. They are in Season 6 now, I think, for that. I'd really stopped playing in Season 3, but, so 2020, I guess? Maybe 2019. I don't know exactly. And that's not necessarily it's been so long I don't remember. It's my brain is mush, and I don't remember a lot of stuff. Oh, yes, yeah, definitely a big Star Wars fan. Okay, let's get those down. So 1-to-1, that's actually not terrible here. So if I did my bracing like that... Although that would tend to want to have another brace there, I think. Favorite Star Wars movie? It's always a difficult question to run into. I mean, I really love the OG, A New Hope. But I don't know that I would say that it's my favorite. I think Return to the Jedi is probably my all-time favorite for Star Wars, as I sit and think about it. It's just, where it puts everything together nice and neat. It brings it all to a conclusion. But yeah, definitely the original trilogy over pretty much everything. Prequels weren't... They were bad, but they were bad in a good way. I will say it that way. I mean, so much of it was, George Lucas getting into politics and that sort of thing. And when I was younger, it really kind of put me off on it because, just... I mean, they did have some awesome bits to it, and there was so much of the plot development. But since I've become a writer, and, to be game develop and, develop canon and everything like that, I get where he was coming from with so much of it and why he made a lot of the decisions that he did. So I understand it more as I've gotten older, and I can appreciate it, having been on that side. But yeah, I definitely think they were not the best. And yeah, the Disney ones are awful. Honestly, and I kind of get where they were going with some of the stuff with the Disney ones, but it's just... so much of it's like, I get where you're going from a creative standpoint, but it's not a Star Wars standpoint. Some of the decisions they made weren't necessarily bad for decisions to make for a movie. They just weren't good decisions to make for a Star Wars movie. And there was just... a lot of people put it as respect for the source material, which is probably the best way I can think of to put it. I don't know if that's necessarily where they intended for it. But just... Yeah, it just wasn't Star Wars. It did not fit with the prior source material. Well, where are we moving to? So right now I live about an hour southwest of Chicago. I'm looking to move to the Carolinas. I don't know exactly where yet, either north or south. But if I go south, it'll be on the northern border of it. My sister's already down there. My dad's just gotten a job, so they're in the process of moving there. I am older. I got hit by a drunk driver when I was a teenager, and so I have a permanent rod in my leg. As I get older, the cold just makes it ache, and it's just getting worse the older I get. So I'm young enough where I can still manage it. I'm like, let's get me out of here. Let's get somewhere where the climate's warmer, and I won't be in pain in the winter. I've been down there. I've visited my sister a couple of times before for like Christmas over the holidays, and yeah, I was in so much less pain to being down there, just having that additional warm weather. All right, that's grinding up. I'm gonna go and let's keep working on filling this in back here, because I'm not sure where else to go for that bridge yet. So I'm going to work on filling this in as I go, just at least until I run out of materials. I'm going to fill in the dirt here. But yeah, she had a baby about a year ago, so he just turned 1. And I actually have a second channel. I'm reading the Railroad series, the books that Thomas the Tank Engine are built off of. And I just do recordings of those like I'm reading them a bedtime story, and I post those up. I actually need to catch up on those. I have missed the last couple ones. I had been a little bit sick, and then we've had hailstorms coming through the last couple of days, which would have thrown off the sound for my recording. So I need to do those this weekend. That is my plan, and I will catch up on the next book where I'm behind for. Does it get that cold? It really is just a matter of the cold, and well, especially like around Chicago, you get that lake effect for the cold, and it's just so damp, and the cold just clings to you. There's really no escaping it when it's cold here. It's just you're stuck and you're miserable. Okay, well I don't need to put those down. I'm almost done with this. I need just a little bit more to fill in that line. Oh, we got the subscribe. Well, thank you so much for that. I said I feel bad when people subscribe sometimes because I don't stream that often. So, I try to keep up with it when I have time. It's just I have so many projects going, and it's not that often that I have time. But thank you very much for it. I'll try to keep the content and everything going as I can, so that you'll at least get something for actually putting in the subscription. Alright, let's see. Where are we at here? Yeah, we're gonna run this here. We're gonna cut this off. Oh, and apparently my Nightbot is throwing up an error message there. I'm not sure what it's doing. It might just be because of the blue sky link. I really need to fix a lot of the things with my streams. So much of this stuff is old. Alright, so we're just gonna build this out. That's fine. Yeah, we'll go to there. Okay, well, we don't need to do that. Alright. Put that in there. And I'll fill in that little bit of a gap there. Okay, cool. And then the grass will fill in here. Not worried about that. Let's go ahead and fill this one in. I can leave that single block there, they're not going to spawn anything. At least I don't think it is. Hytale spawning rules are different than Minecraft's, and I'm still not quite sure how all of it works. But I don't think it spawns in dark the same way. Alright, yes, I am going to... Like I mentioned before, I don't want to dig this out because I will lose the gravel that I already put up there. It's a little bit annoying like that, so I'm going to leave that, but I am going to cut this off. You know, let's just fill that in. Somewhere random like this. So let's cut off there. Good enough. Okay. Let's fill these in. I'm going to fill in up just for this lower level, because dirt is cheap. If I can quit putting torches down. Come on here. There we go. Alrighty. I think I'm going to do this one stone like I did on the other side of the tunnel. I think I already said that. Sometimes I have to remind myself, because my brain is mush. Yeah, so the one there, and then like this. the way in here. It's kind of a cool shot with the ash tree up above me there. Why do I keep putting these on the bottom here? Get that out of there. Alright. Any tips on streaming? I am by no means a professional, so... You know, take any advice that I give you with a grain of salt. I mean, probably the biggest tip I could say is do something that you enjoy doing, so that way, you know, especially while you're starting out, don't just chase what's popular. If, you know, if nobody shows up, then you're just going to feel like you wasted your time. But if you're doing something that you have fun with, and then, you know, just anybody happens to show up, then it's just a bonus. But you're still having fun doing the game while you're playing. So there's not any sort of like sunk cost or anything like that going on. But for like setups and that sort of thing, my setup is very janky. So if you can, this took me the longest time to set up. When you do your recordings, figure out how, you know, whatever software you use, figure out how to record different elements to different channels. So that way your recording will end up having multiple audio sources. Oh my god, if you do any sort of editing after the fact, it is so much easier. I fought with doing that for so long, just because I'm lazy, and I was just like, I don't want to bother with it. But, oh my god, it made life so much better once I did. So, yeah, don't be like me, just, you know, figure up the multiple audio channels. So, like, when you record your audio, if you're going to have your different sources, like you have your game audio, if you do any sort of chat like on Discord or anything like that, that's going to be an audio source. You know, if you do anything for your desktop, if your stream has audio alerts or anything like that, those will be an audio source. Set those up to different channels so that when you record it, rather than just having one channel where all of the sound is combined into one, it's split up into multiple sources. So that way you can mute out those individual sources as you go. As I said, if you do any sort of upload editing or anything like that, if you are just streaming and you're not going to be doing any sort of editing or you know, modifications or anything like that, it really doesn't matter at that point, because your stream all comes out to one audio, you know, channel anyway, so it doesn't matter there. But if you do any sort of content creation for, you know, doing recordings and you're using your stream clips, it helps so much with your editing process. As I said, I fought against that for so long because I was just lazy. I didn't want to set it up. But once I actually figured out how to set it up, oh my god, it made life so much easier when I go to edit later. Alright, let's go... Gotta go backwards on this one. The minecarts are a little bit weird in Hytale. They, like, remember what orientation you place them in, and that's determines your forward and back. Which, you know, kind of makes sense. But it makes it a little bit weird getting in, because there's no differentiation on which one's front and which one's back. Yeah, shorts definitely will get you a lot of views, you know, and just get attention to your channel. And I don't know that so much for myself, because my channel is also very small. Did I... darn it, I made those bricks. I think I can still do that, though. Nope, those won't grind. Darn it. Alright, well, I'm going to have to... Guess I'm committed to using stone blocks. That's fine. I'll do that anyway. I can still do... Okay, if my stuff will click in the right spot. Okay. We can do that, and do that. That'll grind up. Sorry, losing my train of thought there. Yeah, no, if you're doing shorts, that will get you the very quick clips that will get you a lot of views. Doesn't necessarily get you a lot of subscribers. As I said, I know that more because of some of my other friends that have bigger channels that I've seen do their stuff. That, you know, they'll do the shorts to get the views and, you know, get some of the quick traffic. But if you want to get more sustained subscribers and that sort of thing, you'll want to have more long-form content, stuff that they can, you know, latch on to more. But, you know, it does not hurt to get a mix of all of them in there. And let's just, you know, That way you can kind of appeal to everybody. Oh, you got music videos. That's cool. Yeah, I wish I was better at music. Um, I've tried learning instruments and that sort of thing in the past. I just do not have. I don't know if it's that I have the. I like the discipline. I just don't have the time to really learn an instrument. And really learning and get into it to play. Uh, I've done a little bit of experimenting with writing some song lyrics. I think I'm a pretty good lyricist, but the writing comes naturally to me. I've done them. I don't know if I'm good at singing or not. I do karaoke, and I've been told that I'm good at that, but I don't know. I only play around with it a little bit, but like I said, I think I can do some things with lyrics, but it's very hit or miss on whether or not I actually get the inspiration for it. See, I did this again where the track is off. I don't know why Hytale does that. Alright. Well, that's going to be worth just doing the dirt, so let's fill this in. You know, actually, we want to go up here, don't we? So I'd really like to have the grass. Yeah, if I ever get around to posting some of it, as I said, anything that I do with it, it's more just kind of fun on the side sort of things. Playing around with. I don't know that I would ever really develop and do anything with it. It's more just for entertainment on the side. Okay, that's filled in. Which the heck direction am I going here? I don't think... Yeah, the map hasn't caught up with me yet. Which is fine. It will catch up the next time I log out here. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm good either side here. Yeah, I'm gonna end up doing the stone for that, so that's fine. Just not worried about that for the moment. Okay, here we go. So I will need... So I am going to fill all of this in here as well, and I will fill that in with the gravel. Let's just get this going so that I can kind of square off and know where I'm at here. Yeah, so I wouldn't really say a rip-off of Minecraft. It is very similar. So, yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no denying that, yeah, Hytale is very similar. And yes, it is made by the people who set up the Hypixel server. From the very code basis, it is very much, okay, if we could start Minecraft over again, what would we do to make it better? So there is a lot of fundamental structural difference there. But a lot of your building techniques and everything like that, they are very similar. And it's still in early development, so there's a lot more content to come. They're actually doing, they're pretty good on a lot of the updates. But there is some additional lore and things for the world. Like these things, you get these void creatures. And not all of the information for it has been revealed just yet. So there's definitely a lot more. I definitely have fun with it. I think it is a fantastic game. It's a lot more adventure-oriented than Minecraft. Minecraft is so much of a creativity toilet at this point, which, is not a bad thing. It's just that, dumps your creativity in here. Hytale has those aspects, and you can certainly build creatively with it, but it's more focused on getting out and adventuring and exploring the world and, going in and finding things. There's so many different structures and ruins and, just all this different stuff that you can uncover. And actually, I need to head back here anyway, so let me pop in. I think I had some more gravel back at the main base. Anime recommendations. Um, well, that is such a broad topic. And I am not the best versed in most of the modern animes. I am very much an old school for the anime. My very first anime was Galaxy Express 999. Or Galaxy Railways, whichever one it was. I can't, because I've seen them both and I can't remember which one I watched first. Uh, but that was where I had started out with. So, yeah, very much in the old school. That's where a lot of my interests are, just because it's familiar. That's where my nostalgia hits too. But I have gotten back into watching, getting some updates from the old clips from Bleach. I used to be in that quite a bit when I was in college. Main reason for that was when I was hit by the drunk driver when I was in college, and I walked with a cane because my leg was broken. So I was very much just because I had the cane walking with me, so it just fit. And then that one was like a shonen, any shonen anime. It stretched on for so long, and then life just kind of hit as I started getting into work and everything like that, and I kind of fell out of it just because I did not have time to keep up with it. But I've started getting back into some of those. Of the modern ones, I really love Spy X Family. That one I think it's just such a wholesome anime. I need to see the more recent stuff. I watched the first season, and I have not had time to catch up with the rest of it, but that's definitely one that I want to get into. Again, just as I can get time to find more of it. There's always the classic trifecta of Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Outlaw Star. I call them a trifecta just because they seem to fit so well together. Those were kind of some of my staples as I watched things when I was in college. Cowboy Bebop, most people have heard of. I tend to be surprised that not as many people have heard of Outlaw Star. It's not that it was bad. It just didn't seem like it had as much popularity, but it fits very much into that same kind of realm. I don't necessarily want to say genre, but well, I suppose genre might be a good term for it. Yeah, I thought I had the flax here. Or did I put all those already? Okay. Then you're going in a new slot. Alright, let's get some meat skewers. Put that on to process. Back in the offhand. Get a little bit more gravel. Alright, and Inuyasha, yeah, no, I definitely watched that when I was in college. That was a good one. Again, that was one that seemed to drag on quite a while. Which, I mean, shonens tend to do that, although it did eventually end. I mean, supposedly, Inuyasha's a weird one. I said, it was definitely a good one, although it seemed to get a little bit more odd as the longer it went on, but that's what a lot of them end up doing. And I think some of it's just from the writing aspect. They kind of... They partially work themselves into a corner. They kind of run through, start to run out of ideas. They forget some of the previous things that they had set up and established in the world. TTRPG groups. So I don't keep up so much. If you're mainly in D&D, I don't do so much for that anymore. I mean, that was where I'd started out with, but I am so involved with the FASA stuff anymore that I don't have time to keep up on it. So I don't really know any groups there. If you are interested in any of the FASA games, we definitely have a Looking for Group channel there on the FASA Discord. Which, if you go FASAgames.com, FASA, But we got the links on there. I'm on there so you can see all the 1879 chats, and if there's anything you're interested in that, and all of our social links and everything like that we post in there. What am I looking for? I was looking for more gravel supplies. Yeah, I don't think I have any more. Okay. Where does the hardwood leave me for... It's going to give me the orange. I don't really like that for angle pieces. What does the dark wood do? That's the red. Redwood, what do you give me? Give me the blue, which I like, but not for this. Lightwood, I think you give me the hay. No, you give me the white and blue. Softwood gives me the hay. Blackwood, what does blackwood give me? Yeah, just pure black. I don't know that I have one that really gives me a brown roof tile here. No, you give me the cyan, don't you? Yeah. Alright, so I don't know if I can use the roof tile setup. Unless there's anything in here that might work. Sandstone, what do you look like as a roof? Ooh, maybe. Maybe. It's a little bit of a light wood color. I might be able to make it work. So when we do our stream games, those are typically on alternating Sundays. Like I said, we're on a little bit of a hiatus while our GM is feeling sick. But that's typically when we will game, when we do the groups there. Quartzite, maybe. It's also very light, but it's got a darker wood strip there. You know what? Let's craft those, and I'm going to see what it looks like when I get there. I definitely collected a bunch of quartzite, so I can use that. But yeah, so for the official stuff that we have with our game, we'll do that on there. Right now, that's all just internal, so it's like the writing staff and everything for that one. But there is definitely a looking for group channel on the Fasta game, so if you're looking to join any other sort of groups or anything like that, there's people that post in there all the time. And if you're looking for someone, just post and say, hey, this is this is what time zone I'm in. This is what I have free to play. There will probably be somebody who has an opening for something. So yeah, if you feel like joining on that, like I said, it's on fastagames.com. There's the link to the Discord, and you can always check out things on there. As that, obviously, it would be FASA-based games, but if you're interested in checking them out. But yeah, there's 1879, there is Earth Dawn. Earth Dawn is going to be closer to what you're familiar with for D&D, just as far as settings stuff is concerned. It's different mechanics, but very similar, sort of basis. A lot of the difference with Earth Dawn is we really try to give a logical reason for why things are the way they are in the backstory. So like, why are there all these different dungeons around in the universe? What reason do they have to build? There's an in-story explanation for why that is. And it gets into the different lore of everything with the game. For your different leveling progression and how everything advances. That's actually an in-game term. You can describe that to somebody, like to an NPC. I'm going to go meditate on these talents to raise my circle. You say circle rather than level, and that means something in game. So there's, you can talk about these things without having to break character. And we carry a lot of that over with 1879, and like I said, just giving a logical basis for why everything exists the way it does. Alright. I'm going to take a look at this and see how it does. Now this is a little bit of an oddball kind of technique. That might be too light. If this was oak, it would fit. With the quartzite, I don't think it does. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Listen, I do my VODs and everything, so if you ever miss a stream, feel free to check out on the YouTube channel. I will post things there. I get, I have a lot of other streamer friends that do a lot more and a lot more, have a lot more valued things than I do. Just more followers and more content. So definitely check it out. And I always link to their stuff in my my setups. All right. So. Let's see how it looks. I'm gonna bring my wool down as a scaffolding block so I can see how this looks here. Alright, yeah, no problem. Take it easy. You have a good rest of your night. Alright, let's see how you look. Yeah, that's probably my best bet. I don't necessarily like it, but I think that's the way to go. And you're really not going to be looking at this one that much, so... Well, I think I may have gone up too high. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, I did 4. So that would leave... Let's see how that looks. That's kind of midpoint. Now I really need to change it. Take that out of there. Get that out of there. And that looks like it needs something going down the middle. Put that there for the moment. See, but then that doesn't join up. So I put a plank in there, or just a here like this. I guess it's a little too much wonk. I think I'm going to be better off doing stairs and slabs here. Let's go make some of those. Alright, so let's go. Get these door out of here. I will probably need to be wrapping up here at some point. We've been going for almost 2 hours. It's usually what I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like that. This. Okay, no, that should have been done there. That, and then... like this. Come on. Let's do that. Get off of there. I do like this, and nope, not that way. That. Just give it a decent arch. Do like that, that, and that. That. Nice it in there. Less of the framework look, but yeah, I think it makes sense. I think I'm gonna need to do some of these guys along here. If you aren't familiar, the wool works very good as a scaffolding block because you can remove it with a single punch. This will just get me to the end here. I'll do it there because that goes up a little bit high. Alright. Let's see how this looks over the middle. That, like that. 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 Can't tell if that's the right angle. That way. And this needs to go like that. Okay. Yes, I did it right. Okay. Good. Yeah, I'm still in the water. Come on, get up there. Alright. That. No, that doesn't look right. Yeah, I did 3 rather than 2. Okay, I need to come back over. That's nice. That. this over here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best. Run with it from there. Alright. Don't know what's the easiest way to build these up. I just mark where everything is. That, and that. Here, and then beautiful. This is one of the things the Hytale has definitely gotten right over Minecraft. Beautiful. And let's go punch these away. Good enough. Yeah, we gotta fill that one in, but want to see how it looked with more of the arches in. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then we'll repeat on the other side. And then we need to do something going down the sides here. So you know what? I'll probably just keep it off of here. Go like that, and then this. We need a block like that, and then yeah, you really wander far away from your base. Let's get you out of here. Yeah, there. And then that little bit of a dip down, and then swing up. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I can work with that. Then the real trick will be doing the same there. Yes, it will. So I can flood those blocks. Yeah, that should still work. Alright, and then... And I might need to come in and creative and fix the water, because we still can't do water like Minecraft, where it gets an infinite source. There should be something connecting here. I think I need to take that one out. Let's do one right at the level here. No, that's not what I wanted you to do. And then just having one right at water level makes sense there. Okay, cool. So I think we got the basis for that. Then, how am I going to deal with the tracks up here? I think I can get away with filling in on this, but I need something else there. I don't necessarily want to cover up the ash log. I'd like that still to be visible somehow, even if it's just between the cracks. But we definitely need a full block to cover for my rail. I do... I need something to go upside down with there. That, so you can see the difference there. And then it would fill in from there. When you're up here... Yeah, I think that makes sense. The tone looks okay. Got enough of these where I can just stretch it out here. That. It'd be cool if I could do some sort of underlighting here. I don't know if I have a good way to do that. Let's get the other batch here. potentially do a mix of slabs in here. And then let's see. Well, these place against there. Not like I want. I think they're gonna go in the middle, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Okay. Not quite what I'm looking for. Although that does mean I could do slabs on the sides here. Or would I even need to? I can just leave that open. Let's see how that looks. Let me go get some more stairs. Get rid of that. Any more? Nope, I'm out of cobble. Okay. Let's get that made. I think I'm gonna need... Let's see where 100 gets me. I don't want to convert more ash if I don't need to. This definitely needs some sort of lighting to it, but we'll figure that out in a bit. Because I can always just do lights hanging off the side. I'll come back and get that one in a minute. Like that. Couple more, but not much. Am I going the right way? Yes, because I put that to the outside. What, 20 more? I think we'll do it. Come on. Oh, the light's coming through there from the underneath. Now that's fine. There we go. And I can't see anything because it's too dark. Let's go sleep real quick. So I definitely need to wrap up here. My little guy Sonny woke up this morning and he was feeling sick, so he's been much better today, but I still want to keep an eye on him here. Can't sleep there. There we go. Alright. Let us see how this looks in the daylight. And I'm going to put a little bit of gravel in behind here just so I can see how it looks coming up to it. I think that's fine. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. And I'll have to add the supports and everything on the other sides. And finish filling in the arch on the opposite end, but... yeah, and I kind of like it being open like that. I mean, when I build the other bridges, I'm going to build them to the correct level so I don't have to do this again. Because that was just me... that was me screwing up and trying to make the best of it. But yeah, I think that's good. We got the general basis for it. I wish I had more rails, but I'm definitely out of those right now. But I can kind of picture how the tracks will look going on there. Yeah, I think we are good. Alright, well, I'm going to head back over here where my workstation was before I wrap up. And I'm just going to log myself out here where this is, because that's probably where I'm going to work out again the next one. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. I hope you guys all enjoyed. We had some nice conversations going on there. I will get the VOD uploaded on YouTube. I did have the previous one uploaded. If you are watching on the YouTube VOD and you hadn't seen from the chat, just to get the sponsorship information out of here, the Moontale SMP is sponsored by Shockbyte. They provide the server for us, so definitely check them out. I have a link in the description if you want to sign up for your own server, and it will get you 25% off for your first month. So yeah, once again, thank you everybody for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.